Perfect. So, just a little bit of history, like I was sharing before we start recording, is that I come from a space where I had never been a part of a coaching call before I entered into coaching. So I was with the software sector, working on the aspects of enabling software engineering aspects to come through. Um, then essentially, I was also additionally part of volunteering campaigns. Then that's where my leadership aspect basically came through. I ran about 80 to 90 programs with more than 700 volunteers that impacted close to 1,000 plus kids across the state in India, here that I am part of. Uh, but I never experienced coaching. Slowly over a period of time, I had been mentored. I had got, I was also a mentor for a few. I had done a facilitation space. I'd done trainings. I'd been a part of trainings, and I knew that to a large extent, training ends, and that's the end of the aspect of work. Doesn't go beyond that. That's when accidentally I became a coach, and I got into coach training. Finished my or got into that aspect of getting trained. The first time I experienced coaching when I was the coach and somebody else was the client, I knew I had found my love story with coaching. And that was the beginning of this. And like I said, I finished my 100 hours of experience of coaching even before the official 64 hours of ICF, is a ACC training was complete. On the day when 56 hours of training was done, my 100 hours was already ticked. And I said, okay, when do I write my exam? And they said, no, you have to get mentored. The mentoring happens for 3 months. That's a mandate. You cannot escape that. And otherwise, if I'd known that earlier, I would have started mentoring quite early and finished earlier. But also, all's good in the way it happened. It gave me a lot more space to bring on aspects of multiple other things. During this time is when I started to experiment with coaching in the Indian languages. A little bit later is when I started to experiment with how poetry and coaching can coexist. So it did work out for me those 3 months of mentoring that came as a delay. I was still trying to look for a corporate job in the first 6 months of getting into coaching. But then after ACC's aspect, I joined PCC with Coach Arya, got trained. And the day prior, 4 or 5 days prior to actually the first session, I decided that uh, if I die as a coach. If I live as a coach. There is no second questions on it. All hands on deck. Thanks, Shruti. So that is began this journey. And I came to this without having a guide to sort of experience and ask questions saying, am I doing this right? Should I do something? Should I not do something? It felt like I had come into a world I didn't know about. So it felt very alien because all the other coaches were coming in from backgrounds of 20 years of corporate, 15 years of corporate, 45 plus age groups, CEO, CTO, HR 20 years. And here is a 30-year-old guy who is out of syllabus to something that came along. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? So very, very simply put, I didn't know what I was doing. I quit my job. And here in multiple parts of the world, if you don't have a job, they'll not even look at you for arranged marriages. I was on the verge of so many other interesting things. And I didn't know what I had gotten into. But one thing for sure was I loved doing this. So I think that is the most simple part of being in this entire journey. And I'm pretty sure that because you're part of this conversation today, that the title really resonated with you, saying what to expect in the first 100 hours of coaching. So before I move ahead, just let me know in the chat or elsewhere, like how many of you are pursuing your ACC? You can just put ACC on the chat. How many of you are pursuing your PCC directly, and how many of you have an ACC and now on to PCC? Oh, fantastic. All of you are on the ACC path until now. PCC directly. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So PCC, but planning to step by step. Fantastic. Wow. Good. So a lot of ACCs on the route. Some of you are on route PCC. That's fantastic. I'm sure all of you would have felt overwhelmed as soon as you entered the coaching space, saying it's an unlearning space from whatever is already there. It is not an easy unlearning or a easy learning as such. You will have to let go of your ego. You will have to let go of your individuality. You will have to let go of your aspects of finding somebody's answers to jump in, save the day for them, help them, etc. You're also becoming aware that there is a global body, there's markers, there is examination, and there are ethics that are changing. ICF has a website where so much of information is there. You're doing peer coaching where people are asking questions that you don't know. Another peer says that there are 87 questions you should know or 95 questions you should know to make a very impactful questionnaire. Somebody else is they're saying that they did not pass the ICE exam. It's one of the roughest, toughest exams there is. And you're wondering to yourself, saying, did I make the right choice coming to coaching? And I don't know, you will have to answer that for yourself. Is that the right choice? In life, like nothing comes easy, and so is your coaching journey. As long as you're enjoying it, life becomes easy. It's a fantastic space for things to jump on board. You can actually expect a lot of amazing conversations as such once coaching has become part of your this thing. So it will change who you are as an individual as such. And yeah, so it is feeling overwhelming. It is feeling crazy. The first thought that I tell people is that the 100 hours that you're looking at uh, for ACC, 500 hours that you're looking for PCC, it's not a destination. It's a journey. Nothing will, or suddenly change on the 100th hour. Nothing will suddenly change in the 500th hour. And possibly people who've done MCC will also tell you nothing will magically change at 2500th hour. So it's a journey, it's a process. And the second aspect is always trust the process. I, in the 900 hours that I have so far, I've worked with about 350 people. The process of coaching has been the same. It has evolved as such, but the typical conversations as such have always been the same. And in my ACC journey, my first 40 hour to 50 hours were 100% peer coaching because I wanted to perfect the process as much as I could in making it easier for myself. Saying, how do I build on the competencies as such? I initially started to get better at my contracting. So I only concentrated on the grow model or the goal setting part of the grow model for the first 10 hours. Then the next 10 hours is on the reflection and the reality aspects. The next 10 hours is on the opportunities and possibly on the way forward. By around 50 to 60, I could handle a 1 hour conversation that could possibly pass as a coaching call and not as a mentoring and say, consulting call. So also give yourself time because it's a process that is very similar to driving a car. Initially, it feels like, oh, there's a gear set, there is a handbrake, there is a brake, there is an accelerator, there's a clutch, there's a ignition, there is steering, there is mirrors, then there are passengers, and then there are other people on the road, not just you on the road. So it will feel overwhelming. It's part of the game. So give yourself that permission to say it's okay. Also give yourself the permission that you will make mistakes that are possibly rookie mistakes, possibly things that you are not even aware of that count as mistakes that essentially are there. But you are going to look at it that 100 hours as your practice hours. And then slowly, once confidence builds in the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever number where you feel, oh, I'm good at this place, then start slowly building your social media. Where you're talking about coaching, you are able to explain what coaching is to a 10-year-old, what coaching is to a 50-year-old, and possibly what coaching is to your parents. And once that aspect is clearer, you're getting more confident as a coach. Build on your social presence as such. Talk to multiple people. Explain to them what coaching is. One thing I saw personally change with me after I got, so I went 100% into coaching, full blood. I didn't have a corporate job as such. But what I did make as a change was I went to every wedding uh, and every other possibility where people were part of the conversation and spoke to people saying, you know what, I'm doing coaching. And the next aspect they said was, what do you coach on? And I used to tell them, oh, it's nothing to do with skill set. It's already got to do with mindset. Maybe and now when I explain that coaching is like a treasure hunt where you figuring out where the treasure is all by yourself. If you're doing it all by yourself, it takes time. So I help you solve the clues. That helps you from point A to point B. And it's a process that you will have to take up and move from point A to point B. I will only be somebody that helps in solving the treasure hunt for yourself, or drawing the hint for yourself. It has taken its own iteration levels to come to that point. And that's something you will have to discover saying what coaching is for you. Then also, as soon as you start with your cohort that you're coaching or that you're learning with, slowly move to other cohorts in the same training institute, and then slowly also move out of that and join bigger cohorts that are or bigger WhatsApp groups that are part of the equation. There are Facebook groups that you can join. There are WhatsApp groups that you can join. Uh, and then slowly do it with people in your that speak the same language as you do, then possibly move to another aspect, another geography. Uh, as soon as I had done my 100 hours, I started to look at people I could coach in Dubai, Philippines, the US, Singapore, Russia, Poland. I was then exposed to an entirely new uh, cultural aspects of coaching. What questions do they ask? Uh, who am I coaching? Uh, and essentially to also imbibe some of the better questions that they were asking and slowly put it into my own framework. And learning continues beyond your ACC learning. Whatever you learn as part of your 60-hour program is just the beginning of whatever you're learning as a coach. You continue to learn as a coach. You always have something to add on to as such in terms of coaching. Read from somebody. I am not a fan of books. I've never read any of the coaching books as such. I prefer to go and sit on the field, experiment it in a session and figure it out. Be very candid with your peer coaches that you want to try out a tool today and experience a tool and figure out if that works in a session or not. If the client is not ready, don't push them. And in a peer coaching call, when you set up a peer coaching, there are the conversation is between peers. In the coaching call, they are a client. They are no longer a peer coach. So that's the first distinction to look at, that they are clients, they are not peer coaches. The session gets over, you're talking to each other later as WhatsApp, email, etc. Setting up the next call, then you are a coach. Then you are a peer coaching conversation. But otherwise, you are there as a client for them, not as a peer coach. They are there. You are looking at them as a client and not as a peer coach. That's something that I really want to reiterate. Another thing that I've heard from multiple mentees that I've worked with is that the coach on the other side brings a topic that is thought. It is not interesting. So it is something that is normal, obvious, simple, etc. Still take it as a coaching process conversation. You're improving your process, get your process fantastic, the rest of it works. You will always get sessions with clients on the real world that may not understand coaching terminologies. They have zero coaching dictionary. Initially, when the trust is yet to be built, they will still bring surface level conversation. So your skill set is tested on how a surface level conversation can go deep, how to not lose intensity as a coach, or not lose process as a coach, not lose motivation as a coach. When somebody brings in a topic that is average, easy, straight out of the book, look at it as an opportunity to better your process. I'm very happy when somebody brings in a coaching call, in a coaching call, that other peers may feel as, oh, that's an easy thing to work with. It's very easy, normal. So it is important for the client. Even if you feel that's the dumbest conversation you've had, among 100 other dumb works that they could have brought, they got this one. That means it's still priority number one for them in the list of dumb topics to bring. But typically, there are no dumb topics. There are no lesser topics. Every topic is important for the client. Go with that mindset. You will never have a problem with coaching, and especially peer coaching. So, any questions so far? Please feel free to put it on the chat. Um, Okay. Aniket, you'll have to give me a little more indication saying what is not real life, as in, unless somebody is bringing it as an AI conversation that they've had a chat with AI and they're directly bringing it and you're chatting with AI. I'd still feel that all of it is real. There is nothing that is inauthentic. It may still look at the aspect of they are not able to articulate whatever they are trying to share with you. That could be one of those. That is a aspect. So always give the benefit of doubt to the client. If you feel that it is a repeating aspect, that that particular individual is not bringing in a topic that you are not comfortable and you feel it's inauthentic, it's not working for you to learn how to be a coach, you can always let them know that your calendar is not available. Right. So you can always go to somebody else and say, you know what, I think I'd like to be a coach with you. And I would look at this as an opportunity to ask yourself, how do you respond to conversations and situations where you feel authenticity is not there? Is it a value conflict with you as a coach? Right. So that's one thing that I leave you with. Maybe I'll come back to questions a little later, as such. Um, Sarah has asked, how do you know what to charge? Fantastic question. I'll come back to that in a minute. Then there's also uh, um, also another
Sunil,
one.
there is one from Sheeny. How do we
Yes,
do
please.
100 hours such that we are also preparing for ICF exam at the same time?
Yes, fantastic. Thanks, Taran. Um, so, how do you get your 100 hours such that you're preparing? Start with the process as soon as you know. So, process of coaching, try and refine it session by session. After you get your 40, 50 hours, get to that. Get yourself a fantastic mentor by around 50 hours in your ACC journey. Mentoring beyond the technicalities that is mentioned in the of this marker was hit, this marker was not hit. For so typically, so some of you may or may not know. I'll assume that you don't know that there are a set of 37 PCC markers. The same 8 competencies are sub-broken down, and there are some competencies that are given a marker status. 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4 is something that you will hear from assessors and mentors and all that. So typically, CC3 is for maintaining contracts and building on contracts. Then there is trust, listening, safety, listening, active listening, trust, and uh, also the aspect of enabling awareness, facilitating client growth. A lot of these competencies have something called as markers. The markers are marked on every question that you ask as a coach to the client. And that's what becomes an assessment matter for this. So you invest in a mentor approximately around halfway through your ACC. 200 hours approx to your PCC. Even if you do it earlier, more the merrier. But do it as a process that aspects there. So that's something that you can actually start looking at in terms of growing your journey alongside the ICF this thing. The actual examination part of it comes in two aspects. One is the audio recording bit, and the second bit is your ICE preparation bit. IC is ICF coaching examination. Previously, it was called CKA. CKA is no longer a relevant factor. It's called the ICE. And then ICE also has two aspects. Now, with something where you can do an PCC based ICE, where you can directly or then within a year to complete your rest of the 400 hours, the rest of the 60 hours of 65 hours of coach training, get yourself mentored, and you can appear for PCC. Or you can go right away through the route of for only an ACC. Apparently, they have reduced the intensity of the exam. I'm not sure because I did it in 2023. I was, for me at least, a lot more easier to navigate that coaching call and essentially make it. So I will just run through the rest of the things that I had thought of because the questions are also equally interesting. And I see that, half an hour may not be a completely fully fledged time for all of us to share whatever we want to share. So we were talking about, I'll come back and answer all of these questions, don't worry. Um, if you have more questions, please also put it out in the chat. Then I was talking about your peer coaching preparations. Essentially, there is again a pre-session checklist and a post-session checklist. Uh, bad bad wordings in terms of a checklist, but a pre-session preparation, a post-session preparation. So pre-session, ground yourself, put all pressures outside, keep your phone outside, and ground yourself and get essentially come into a coaching call. I love metaphors. My work is very strongly working around metaphors. So one of the metaphors I use is whatever I am is I am like a leaf in the river, and I'm slowly flowing with the river. Uh, I enable the client to be the river. I am going where the client is going. I can't say the client to stop where I want to stop. The client stops where they want to. I'm not trying to tell a story to the river. I'm not trying to convince the river to change tacts. The river does what the river does best. So I'm just going with the flow and slowly grounding myself to actually be non-judgmental, completely be with the client and essentially operate with a complete clean thought process. Nothing, there are no thoughts in my head. I'm like a blank canvas. So that's my attitude. That's my mindset when I get into a call. I've also had back-to-back calls, and I have had the pleasure of working in a corporate sector. So 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, you're talking with a German colleague on saying XYZ is not working. 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you're working with a Chinese colleague saying, what was your conversation with a German guy or absolutely something else. So I have the ability to context drop something that is not relevant to this conversation. So I don't carry anything from the previous conversation. So I let it go. Typically, like a the same leaf in the river. As soon as the session is done, I'm out of the river and don't stay in the river there. I don't remember anything. I don't have to remember everything that is there in the session. The client will remember what they need to remember. And a client always will get a solution that works for them, whether it is physically visible to you or emotionally visible to the client or not. Yes, they will still get it. So go with that confidence, unburden yourself with all the pressures that you have to deliver, performance pressure, all the kinds of pressure that you're there. So that's a ritual. Possibly post coaching, do a reflection. Was my contracting right? Did I feel good about it? Did I have a chatter while I was doing it? Would I have asked another question that was interesting? Uh, yeah, and also give yourself a space where you allow certain things to happen. So you would have intended a question to come through in a certain way. It would have landed horribly. You let it go. and say that was something that is there. You learn from it, possibly a growth mindset possibility, how except how it is part of the space. Always look at following the process of coaching in the coaching call. There are tools that will help you, but tools are only tools. They're not the entirety of what coaching is. And it will feel overwhelming. It is part of the process. It initially looks like there are hundreds of things that are needed, but a little later, everything is in cohesion. So give yourself that space, give yourself that permission, acknowledge that it is going to take time, and essentially then build on it. Right. And I just wanted to sort of pause in terms of this point right now to then again maybe just look at the coaching questions or the questions that you put on the chat. So I'll just unspotlight myself now. So this is what I wanted to share in terms of some of the things that I had to share to all of you. Um, anything that you have as a question or have as a response or anything else before I go on to the chat and then look there. Dhwani, is it a question or is it anything as a reflection? Go ahead, yeah, unmute yourself and share.
Yeah, it's actually a question, but I don't
Mhm.
mind asking after you've addressed the ones in the chat
Yeah,
box because I don't want
okay.
to go over the other questions.
Yes, thank you so
Thanks.
much. So you can ask a question, but what I'll do is I'll answer it in the same order it is on the chat. So because anyways, raised your hand.
Okay, sure, sure. So my question is, I've recently started my coaching practice. I've completed my ACC and PCC coach training, and I've
Mm,
begun my coach practice.
mm-hmm.
And what I typically find myself doing is, especially when I'm in a whether it's a virtual call or a in-person coaching session, since it's just the beginning for me, I have like a diary and a pen with me, and I sometimes make some quick notes on what insights are coming out from the coachee. Um, I've been a trainer and a facilitator for the last more than 10 years. So I like taking notes when I'm on a diagnosis call or something like that. So I have that habit of making notes. And I'm not sure if that's a good practice. Maybe as a beginner it may be okay. But can we also invite our coaches to, come handy with a notepad so that they can jot down something that's like an aha moment or a bulb moment for them? Because if they don't do that, they may lose their insights and they may feel uh, I mean, of course, the onus is on them, but then we also want them to feel fulfilled after the session. So, how do we take care of this aspect of noting down insights? Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. So I'll come back to that. I think I am yet to address, I think, Sarah's question. How much do you charge? Right. It's a very interesting conversation. I started with pro bono. I'm still a very big fan of pro bono because free is not free. Because a lot of people don't know what coaching is. So I started with pro bono or typically non-monetary exchange. So they used to give me a book. They used to take me, send a coffee, drop a review somewhere, optimize my LinkedIn and look at my website and say this needs to be done. It was again typically a barter, right? So, or I would ask them, can you help me get to somebody else who is also in need of coaching? Can you promote this in your uh, apartment groups, etc.? So that is something that I looked at as possible responses or paid coaching events. So that's one. The payment came there. So monetary payment is a slightly trickier process. So it again depends on how confident you are as a coach. What do you want to do? How do you price? I started with what is the price I am confident of. If I go to another coach, how much will I pay for it initially? So I started with 250 rupees, which is possibly 3 USD, 3.5 USD max. And then I went to 500 to exit. Then I went to 1000. I'm very sensitive to the price market in an Indian context. So they went to 1000 to 2000, 2.5, then 2.5 to 5, 5 to 8. Now, approximately, I charge depending on the. Also, there is again differential pricing based on nationalities. right? So what is the payment index that is available to them? How much can they pay? And what is the value there is? The value for coaching. I say it's a priceless conversation. I cannot put a number to it. For me, that's a very, very clear value. Irrespective of what I'm charging, I will always be 100% in the game. But essentially, it's a process I have chosen to say what am I feeling that this is a value. If I was to coach, or if I am my own coach, and I'm meeting Sunil on the other side, and Sunil says, "This is my pricing." Do I say, "Okay, that's fair. That's something that I'd be very happy to give because I know what is my ROI." So that's how you decide, and nowhere does it stop. You can always rearrange, restructure, run based on whatever this thing. And the second part of the question she had was, "Do you listen to your recordings?" I hated listening to my recordings, but now I do it because I am always looking at it as a learning. Uh, I completely, very strongly urge people to get a mentor to look at your recordings first. Once you've understood what is the best part of coaching, what is working, what is not working, what are some of the competencies at play, then also start looking at your own recording while you're doing your mentoring process. Because very simply, you can also get to a self-critical space saying that didn't go well, this didn't go well, blah 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 blah. You know, the chatter in the head is very very quick to talk onto that. Kat, I hope that's answered your question. Okay, so
Sunil,
complete.
how many sessions do you take for mentor coaching?
Uh,
If you're on the
Officially, it
existing
starts
path,
with 10. Officially, it's a 10-hour mentor coaching.
so it's
Uh,
like 10 sessions.
yeah, 10 sessions, 1.5 hour each. So technically 15 hours.
Okay.
And yeah, sometimes it goes more than that. There are some people who have had more
And
sessions.
and for India, I mean, could you disclose how much you would charge?
I will. I charge about 35,000 Indian rupees for 10 sessions there.
And what all is
I'm very
generally covered up in
transparent.
this session?
Sorry.
Can you just brief up what all is covered up in these coaching sessions?
So you will have to get your recordings to me, or sometimes it runs in a different way. I'll come back to that in terms of what all it covers, maybe at a one-to-one space. So I can work with you, saying you coach me, and I sit as an observer while you're coaching me, and I also act as a client. So that's one way. You bring another person to the coaching call, you do a session live, I do mentoring there, then and there. You bring a recording, that also works. You bring a conversation, that also works. It's not a strict aspect of this thing, and I don't all yeah I typically put it saying get your 10 one-to-ones done with a mentor rather than a group coaching conversation. I haven't had too much of personally speaking, not too much of effectiveness in a group coaching call.
Okay, I don't want to push myself too long because I normally tend to do that. You know that very well. I don't do that for long. That I take the entire space. But just to cut the story short, I have been out of the coaching space for almost like since November because I got into NLP and I did my all the different courses of NLP. And now I'm masters and all the works of NLP. I've done all covered up all the metaphors and NLP. And now I want to get back to coaching. So all this while I did not even bother to. So I've sort of lost base with coaching right now. Although I had started coaching well. How do I restart? I don't know. Not feeling confident to start.
So it's an interesting question. Okay, I'll come back to this one with the general flow that's there.
Okay.
Uh, Yeah. So, how do you come back to coaching? Maybe answering even the aspect of this thing. Go to peer coaching. That's one of the aspects. Saying start. You become the client for the first 3 or 4 hours. And slowly, the momentum I can actually start, and possibly answering Pooja's question, saying it gets difficult to, or Pooja's conversation, saying it get difficult to do this. So one of the things I follow is I do a wheel of life once every, say, 3 months, and say, oh, is there something that I need to work with? I've also experimented with taking a theme to coaching. So today's and tomorrow's or one week's theme is only about my business side of coaching. Anybody I did peer coaching with, I used to take that aspect. So session one, something has moved. Then I do something. The session two, I take something that has already moved, or I take the same topic to somebody else as a coach because possibly based on the questions that they're asking, it takes me to an unknown territory there. So that's another experiment that can work. So that is how I can you can find authentic topics. Do a wheel of life every 3 months, possibly even 3 weeks. It does need to be 3 months, 3 weeks. This thing. And coming to what Indus asked, saying how does coach supervision work in your PCC journey? So there are three things. One is you get trained, that is from a trainer. You get mentored, that is from a mentor. The mentoring is around the skill set of coaching. The supervision is the coach coaches you about your coaching. That's the supervision model. That there is, I think, an 8-point model or an 7-pin model. I forgot the name of it. It's an entirely new competency as to how the aspect of supervision is like. So, if for example, I have a problem coaching, say LGBTQ, right? So somebody I've come across, and he's a person who is openly say queer, right? And I don't understand that language. I feel that's a difficulty for me when I sit with that person in the conversation. I'm not being a coach. I'm very erratic as an individual. I'm doing rookie mistakes, etc. That's a trigger for me to take it to a supervisor. I get angry while I'm coaching, say an elderly coach or an elderly client. I feel I get too motherly when I'm coaching a young client. So all of these are typical coaching supervision conversations where the supervisor, with his or her aspect of finding out what is important, will help you navigate around your own coaching space as such. Uh, if I could conduct coaching hours as part of my HR, will they count as required paid hours? Depends on what is the aspect of paid. If the company is ready to give a certificate or a email that this many number of hours was counted and that you got that's part of your salary, then fantastic, it counts as paid hours. Secondly, if you conduct a coaching call to 10 members in a group, um, that's called group coaching. Then it still counts as 1 hour because it's not 10 into 1, it is 1 hour only. That's something that you should be uh, careful of, right? So, yeah, Dhwani, if you can repeat your question, I'll come to Dhwani, I'll finish, then come back to Jyoti.
Sure, Sunil. Sure. So my question was around taking notes during a coaching conversation. I
Okay.
find myself taking notes, but I want to know if we can invite the coachee to take notes, or how should we ensure that the insights are retained?
Fantastic. So I'll give you an interesting experience. I have done about 300 to 500 hours of getting myself coached. I have never had to uh, go out of a call saying, okay, these are the things I have written down and say these are my output points because they've always been part of whatever I have taken up. And after a coaching call, I've also realized, oh, this also sits into place. There are so many things to so many other patterns that are really, jumping into whatever I wanted to make it. And also, is it my need as a coach to have the client take notes, or is the client need as a client to take notes? So if it is coming from my need as a coach, there's something. It's a typical, like I said, a supervision topic. Saying, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I want the client to get an answer. I want the client to not lose out on something, etc. The client will always take a lot more than they've already expressed in a session out of a conversation from here.
Right,
So
right.
as a starter, you can do your notes,
Hmm.
but asking your clients to note down may not
Huh.
be the best.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can ask them to, but we can invite them to do so if they want to, right? If that's
If they
their
want to,
style of.
if they
Hmm.
want to. So it can be saying, say, Dhwani, so I am your coach, for example. Dhwani, I've observed that some of my clients in the coaching call would also like to take down notes of something that they feel is an interesting point that they've come across. feel free to do that if that works for you. If it does not work for you, that's absolutely fantastic. You are driving this conversation forward,
Okay.
however you want to take it. Subtly done. You know, put it there if you really want to put it there.
Okay. Okay. Before we end this, just one more small thing on the same
Hmm.
lines. Now again, as a facilitator, as a trainer, I've had this habit of providing, some handouts or some sort of a download towards the
Mm.
end of an intervention to the client. Uh, should I'm also a little bit edged to do this for my coaches as a
Mm.
beginner. These were the learnings that we came out with in the last 3 sessions. So this is like a PDF for you to, review. Should I do that or should I not do that even as a beginner?
You can invite them to do that, saying you can give them a format at the beginning of your contracting, saying this is a sheet where you can say this session happened, this session happened. The client themselves chooses to fill or not fill. It's their headache, their
Okay.
thought process. But from your end, it is your process of giving it. But asking it, you doing it for them is, are you doing spoon feeding, or
Okay.
going into mentoring territory.
Got it. Got it. All right.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So if then generally there will be other questions. There is a Q&A session at when is it? Possibly on the last Saturday or Sunday sometime. Is something there is a Q&A session. If there are further questions, we can always take it up there. And lastly, answering I think two questions. Uh, how does one go about approaching somebody as a coach? So supervisor and mentors often give out a demo session. That's something you can look at, Shilpi. So look for their abilities in terms of them having experience. Talk to them. There should always be a chemistry match between you and your mentor. And answering what Jyoti had asked, how do you restart? You can always choose to restart, get a peer coaching done, start with peer coaching, get back into the game, slowly build on it. And then I think around the mentoring aspect of it, we can always catch up. Oh, and yeah, one thing that I have had as a Delta, so whatever I started was when I got my ACC done, I had possibly no guides as such. So I did my this thing as to however things went. Uh, that basically strongly weighed as soon as I finished my PCC. I started a community of coaches called the Tribe of Coaches. We are about 216 coaches right now. Out of that, almost everybody is somebody I personally know because I talk to them and let them into the group. We have sessions every week, every Monday. On different aspects of this. A lot of people here are part of the tribe of coaches. It's a space where a lot of us are here. So that's a community that has been created beyond the learning aspect. A lot of it also on my own learning and reflections. So there is always a space to be a part of that community. So if anybody is interested, I'll just drop my number here on the chat. You can just ping me on WhatsApp. I'll be happy to add you there. And also, if anybody wants the recording as such, you will have to let me know that you need the recording. I will uh, send it to you once the recording has been rendered. And yeah, so those are aspects, I guess, in terms of questions. Is there an aspect of I think there was another question. So, is there a contract that is like a template? Yes, a template is there for right at the ICF main website itself. You have a template. You can download the template, change it as in how you require it, and then build on it. Um, then I think there's another question is in 10 hours of mentor coaching a part of the ACC credential? Yes, 10 hours of mentoring is there for 10 hours for ACC, 10 hours for PCC, 10 hours for MCC as such. MCC does not end in 10 hours. It will go beyond 10 hours. And to do what else? Yes. Yeah, I think confusion. Yeah. Okay. Priyanka noted. I saw your message. Priyanka, just drop me a message on WhatsApp. For those who want to join the group, as well as for those who want to get the recording, you let me know. Last time I sent everybody a mass email with all the 10 recordings of this, and the YouTube views did not reflect them to actually seeing it. So this time I'm saying, if you really want it, you ask me and you will get it. So that's the idea. And some of the videos will be put as unlisted videos so that only those who ask for the link will get the link. So not everybody, it's not a public video on YouTube. So yeah, I think these are things where I pause for today in terms of this. ACC done with 70 hours of training done through CCE course. Rajeshwar, you are going through something what is called as a portfolio method. Is that right? See on the call. Uh, So some of you can get or can also explore something called as a portfolio method. It is where you get your coach learning hours from multiple sources, and then you can apply to the ICF as soon as your 60 hours are done for 64 hours. 60 hours are done for ACC. 125 hours is done for PCC. This is what we call as a portfolio path. You will then need to also get a mentoring done. You will also apply to your with your audio, and it may take a longer time. It may be also a lot more costlier on the this thing. Again, there are cost analysis and other things, but you will have to apply to ICF directly. It's called the portfolio path. Right now, typically, if you've done your ACC level one, they will give you something called as a ACTP level one or level one coaching. ACTP level 2 is for PCC direct training, and MCC is called level 3. That's the ICF convention right now. Because I have another minute, how do you identify a niche? You feel something that's comfortable for you as a coach. That's one way to do it. The second, you look at it as a pattern saying how many of your clients are coming in for a particular sector. That's something. Three, whether the niche is something that is valuable enough for you to keep that gives you money. So that I think are three indicator points that can tell you, oh, uh, yeah, yeah. So these are, I think, answers. Like I said, how do you find the mentors? There is a list of mentors on the ICF website as well. Anybody who is a PCC uh, or has done MCC. MCC is a default. MCC can mentor somebody on the MCC path, PCC path, ACC path. Somebody who's done PCC can mentor anybody on the ACC and anybody yet to do PCC path. Anybody who's ACC but has renewed once, that means they are in the coaching world for uh, one renewal is a 3-year cycle. So that means they are generally in there for more than 4 years. One renewal done with ACC, they can still be a mentor coach. There is an PCC assessor course that is there. You can do it. It's about $105 or something as such. That also counts as your bare minimum requirement for you to do a mentoring. So that is, you can have that course, then do your ACC renewal, and then essentially be a mentor coach. So that I think is the this thing, and all those who are responding on the chat, personally saying you're looking for the recording, uh, also just ping me on WhatsApp. I'll just ping you the number 892353551. And generally, all sessions I have a chat with the person who's there on the other side, get to know you as an individual, and then add. But maybe with the ICW, I will just put you in, and then the conversations can happen at a later point of time. So that is where maybe I can pause for today. I just want to check in terms of was it helpful? Yeah. Oh,
Yep,
okay.
it's really helpful. Thanks, Neil. Raj here again. Rajesha.
Thanks.
Basically, you're right. It's the portfolio part. So
Mm-hmm.
just to let you know, it's portfolio part, but at the same time, it was like weekly training and coaching. So
Mm.
every Thursday there was training, and every Thursday there's again training and practice, right? And it
So,
went on
yeah.
for about 16 weeks. So that is 32 hours, right?
Mm.
And then there was a fast track for a month,
Mm-hmm.
which means every Tuesday and Thursday for a month, 8 weeks, which is 16 hours. So 32 hours plus 16 hours. And then I did that first course once again. So first
Mm.
question is, if you do that same course again, like 3 months, will the hours be added? Are they cumulative
Mm.
or
Not
not?
Not sure. I think you'll have to write to the ICF for it. Support at ICF
Okay,
Federation.org. So that's where most of your answers will be gotten
yeah,
back to you.
I'll find out. So
Chat
the thing is that
search.
uh, so this course is
Mm.
CC credited thing.
Okay.
So you write it portfolio path.
Mm.
So I can't apply for level one. Is that right?
I don't
Can't
think
apply.
you can reapply. So if say for example I've done one training on say transactional analysis, it's given me 20 CCUs. And
Mhm.
I need 60 CCUs. I go to another, I go 3 months down the line, I do the same course. My
Yeah.
learning is the same. Right? So
Oh,
at least
yes.
when I'm thinking from that frame, I see it's not
Mhm.
possible to recount it as. So you'll be able to count it as one training, and that many
Yep.
numbers will. But
Yep.
we can
Yep.
always chat up offline in terms of what has really happened, what are the certificates, etc. We can have a chat about it. No worries.
Yeah, because I want to follow the ICF path, ACC or PCC, but I don't know, like, will they
Fantastic.
consider this, or who should I talk to about it, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
guide me about that? That would be
Fantastic.
fine.
I'll get in touch. I think you already pinged, right? So
So,
you pinged on WhatsApp.
yes.
We'll
Yeah, yeah,
get
we'll connect.
yes, perfect.
Thank you
Okay,
so much for your extra time. Yeah,
most well.
I mean,
appreciate
we also get the CCU points now when we attend this entire week, all the program that we attend.
Not all the programs. There are some that have explicitly told you. Some of them are CCU. So if I have to apply for CCUs, I will have to be, essentially somebody that gets approved for this. So you'll have to ask saying this is what I will do, this is the core competency, this is the this thing, and there is some, I think, there is also a monetary aspect to it that I'll have to look at to paying the ICF for giving the CCUs. So there's a process where the payment is for them to see whether it can be approved or not, something like that. So that's the deal.
How do we
So
find out
these
that
kind of
our
sessions are not counted towards CC or anything.
This you can apply in the portfolio path as RD, not for see the original core competency education unit.
Okay. Okay.
as
Sorry, you
as what?
continue.
Can you repeat it? You can
Sorry.
apply as
This you can call it as resource development CCUs.
okay.
That you will have to say you this is the link, this is what you attended, this is what you learned from the session, this is my reflection as a coach. So that is the format. I'll maybe share it offline with you, saying what's the format, how do you get it done. And because
Yes, yes.
I'm also mindful that a lot of you also have other sessions in the ICW, I will not let you, let you go for this. Before that, if you could just, allow yourself to come on video so that I can, take a snapshot if that's okay with you. To essentially inspire more people to come to the ICW, more people to also, come and ask, share, and be a part of this conversation. Yes. Thank you. So I'll wait for another minute and then maybe take a snap. Mhm. Okay, done. Thank you. Okay, so that should do it for today. In today's meeting, I think Govin told me I've not answered Reshma's conversation. Reshma's this thing, and yeah, how does one start this as a career? You start this very slowly. You start this mostly whenever you feel like this is the right place to go, and don't like me jump into coaching and then figure out what you need to do, and talk to multiple people who are part of the coaching space, find out what's working for them, what's not working for them, and that's possibly how you get your answers, and you will have to decide whether it works for you. And look at the monetary aspects, credentialing, etc., etc. How do you charge? Do you feel that niche works for you? etc. So there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered in that space. I just jumped in. I had no choice. So I had to figure it out. So that's my answer to that. Okay, then. Thank you. Thanks for your time today.